You are listening to the Boss Experience Podcast, a podcast with conversations about business growth, self-development, and maintaining a mindset to achieve business success. My name is Michele Davis, and I am a business strategist and coach, and I am your host. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Boss Experience, the podcast that helps you turn your expertise into an online coaching business that replaces your 9-to-5 income. My name is Michele Davis, and I'm your host. And I am super excited about today's topic, which is 8 ways to deliver your irresistible coaching offer. Are you trying to turn your expertise into an online coaching business that replaces your 9-to-5 income? If so, tell me if this sounds familiar. You took a coaching certification class, but still don't know how to develop a coaching business or get clients. You bought a course, only to never implement what you learned, or worse, you still don't know where to start. Or maybe you're struggling to piece together a bunch of free information you find online, hoping and praying for results, only to still be confused. The key to earning revenue in your online coaching business is having a process to get the right people contacting you about enrolling in your programs and services. You also need a coaching offer that gets results for your clients in addition to you being able to charge a premium price for your services. So if you need help putting these pieces together, my name is Michele Davis, and I am the host of the Boss Experience Podcast, in addition to being a phenomenal business coach. And I created a free short video explaining where to begin when it comes to starting an online coaching business that replaces your 9-to-5 income. Just go to CEOBlueprintacademy.com to get instant access now. That's CEOBlueprintacademy.com. Okay, back to the show. Some of these may be a part of your irresistible offer, but may not be the primary offer or may not be the only thing you offer in your business. As you're building out your offer, how can you structure it in a way that's going to be impactful, that's going to solve a big problem, and that's going to work along the lines with where you feel you're most effective, right? Or how you feel you'll be most effective. Not everyone is ready to throw themselves into a group coaching program, but some of these other methods may be something you may want to do. So I don't want to just lock you in. I don't want to box you in. I want you to think about different ways that you can deliver your coaching program. Okay, so let's hop into what some of those ways are. So the team creation offer is where you work with someone personally to create anything they want, basically, that fits into your expertise. And another way to think about this offer is called done with you offer. So you're working hand in hand with the client to actually take on a big part of something that they're working on. So let's say if you teach online entrepreneurs how to create online courses, you could partner with your client to help them put together their entire course from module outlines to the final product. This isn't just like your standard one-on-one where someone's going to, sit down and talk to you for 60 to 90 minutes. The team creation offer is an offer you can charge premium price for, considering you're going to take on doing part of the work because it's part of your expertise. You're working with people who may not be able to take on this aspect of their business on their own without some sort of help. And so this is where you're coming in, to actually help them do it. So that is the team creation offer. But I also want to share with you the pros and cons to this offer. So when you offer to help someone put something together, they view you as an expert. So on the one hand, this is, of course, fabulous news because people are willing to pay top dollar for expertise. This means of course, like I mentioned, you can make a lot of money with this type of offer. But just think about the fact that you're helping clients solve this big problem, yes, But by being the hands, you're also going to take up a lot of your time. And so you're going to be limited in a way with the projects you complete. Next up is a 48-hour done for you offer. This is where you help people that are strapped for time, right? And the more time you save your clients, the more attractive your offer seems to prospective buyers. If you feel like you have the time and you can put in the hours and you have the clients coming in and you're in a position to turn around work in 48 hours, this is good for you. And you can also get creative. It doesn't have to be 48 hours. Maybe you can make it a 72-hour done for you. Okay. And depends on what you're doing. So creating an offer that's highly valuable to your clients in a very short window of time is what people will pay you for. You're solving a big problem. They're down to the crunch and they really need help. And they don't need you on an ongoing basis, but maybe they need, you to help them do whatever it is that they need to do and have this quick turnaround. So let's say you're a copywriter. You could offer to write a sales page for your clients in 48 hours, 72 hours, or whatever the case may be from start to finish. The goal here is quick turnaround. And you have to make sure that you're not advertising something that you can't meet or that you know exactly what you can do in that time frame. And you would complete the work. Now, let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of this type of offer. So speed is the name of the game. And you have to think, what kind of work are you able to do quickly? So you'd want to have a menu of services that you can do pretty quickly. And your whole goal here is, because you have the expertise and it may be in graphic design, it may be in tech, it may be in something else, you can turn around things really, really quickly. And soon AI is going to be another one. Podcasting is a big one. Being able to turn around, an entire episode with show notes and all of those things. That's another thing people would pay for. The goal here is whatever your expertise is for you to capitalize on it in this offer where you quickly turn around the project and you get it back to your client. So, of course, the benefit here is pricing. You can charge a premium rate without hesitation because you're doing things at lightning speed and you're doing it for them. So all they have to do is basically use what you've already completed for them. And they can get things done quicker than if they sat and they did it themselves. You save them time and money. Another big benefit to this offer is there's less client management required. So not everyone wants to work with someone for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, or 6 months, or 12 months. People tend to like having the quick turnaround in clients, so you don't have a lot of the client management issues. Now, what you do have is, the person that may not know exactly what they want. When that happens, you may end up producing something that they may not be totally happy with. So yes, you can quickly turn things around, but you would have to build this model out in a way where you fully vet the person and you don't want an inflexible client or someone who's scatterbrained. You want to focus them in. You want to get them, to sign off on an agreement that contains, what the scope of work is for the project. And you want to move it along, because if you let people who are scatterbrained, don't really know what they want, next thing you know, after the 48 hours turns into a 2-week project because they want to go back and forth with the different changes. So you're going to have to put some limitations on this type of work. You're going to have to tell the client, like, listen, because we're working on a short time frame, once we define what the project is, it's locked in and it's a 48-hour turnaround. But don't ever start a job or start a project without having received some form of payment. So next up is your 15-minute coach offer. This is also referred to as like laser coaching, right? You have people who may be planning a launch, or they may be planning different. When I say a launch, I'm thinking business to business. Or you have someone that may be doing a workout and they want to do it themselves, but they need someone who they can bounce ideas off of, someone who they can contact if they run into trouble. Not everyone wants to have like a full-time coach that's going to work with them over a set amount of time. So you can still help them reach their deadlines and get them through a major project, but it's just in 15-minute time blocks. And there's different ways to do this. One could be where someone would have you on retainer to deliver advice for them. And that's great if you have someone that you've worked with in the past, through consulting work, and they want to be able to contact you in the future. You can have them sign on with you as a retainer, as a retainer client. But also you can use this 15-minute coach model to really help people with a major project. Maybe they just need to know where to start and they need to walk through the different steps to their project. And so they may not be able to put those ideas together. This could be someone in a 9 to 5. Maybe you're an expert in some aspect of, corporate presentations or corporate training or some other expertise that could help someone who's in a regular 9 to 5. Maybe they're in the corporate world and they need help with a particular aspect of the person's job. So it really boils down to what is your expertise. And this is a way for also you can use it as an accountability partner where you kind of come in and you make sure they're accountable. You walk them through, you see where they're at, and you make sure that they stay on track with their project. What are some pros and cons to this particular model? An obvious pro is this kind of offer is, you get to charge a premium fee for this service because it's high touch with lots of personal interaction between you and your client. And when you use free or low cost options to conduct your client check-ins, Zoom, Voxer, or some of the other things that may be out there, there's a potential for this offer to be profitable because of the low overhead. It's something that you can do pretty easy from anywhere if you need to hop on a call for 15 minutes because people are paying for your expertise. And so if you have deep expertise in something, you can actually navigate them through. It could be tech. It could be any number of things. The other cool thing about this offer is you build relationships with people. And so they may hire you over and over again, or you'll be the first to come to mind when they have their next project. And because this offer is like 15-minute intervals with each client, you have quite a bit of flexibility. This leaves time in your schedule to devote to other clients as well. And it's pretty low commitment when you think about it in terms of how much time you have to exert to actually, work with someone. But while there are several advantages to launching this type of offer, there are a number of disadvantages as well. So you'll have less freedom than if you were to implement a more passive offer than, like the 48-hour done for you that I mentioned, where you're not checking in with them over such a long period of time. Because you could, with the 15-minute offer, you could be actually working with this person over the course of the project. So how long is the project? If it's a construction project, it's probably a long time. If it's like a project at work, a merger or some other type of project, maybe it's, 6 months. It just depends on what your expertise is, whether or not this is going to be a project that's right for you. And you'll have to come up with a way to track where each client is in their process. That's another disadvantage. So this can get complicated if you're working with, let's say, 5 or 8 different clients and they're all in different places. And so you have to essentially have different timelines to track them. But anyway, so that is the 15-minute coaching offer. And then you have the bundle offer. You can do something like, where you have a 5-session bundle that walks people through what they need to do. Or you have, 3-session bundle. And that way, instead of charging someone a couple $100, to sit down with you for 60 or 90 minutes, you're charging someone a much higher rate because they're committing to have 3 sessions with you instead of a one-off session. And so it depends on, how you want to bundle it, what problem you want to tackle when you think about this type of offer. Because if you're tackling a complex issue, then maybe a 5 session bundle would do the trick. And then you could charge, well over $1,000 or more for the service. And then you could pair it up maybe with the 15-minute coaching as a laser coaching model where you have the bundle and then you have follow up as well, where you follow up with them over an implementation period. So there's different ways to think about these different models, but there's pros and cons when you think about this bundle offer. The con is you wouldn't really get to that $3,000 mark when you think of the premium pricing, but there are some advantages. So the biggest advantage probably for this offer is you don't have to create anything new if you don't want to, because you're basing what you do off of working with the clients. And you can actually attach this bundle to other things as well. Maybe you attach this 5-session bundle to your group coaching program or your course, where you upsell them. You sell them the course, but you upsell them the bundle so that they can, have that personal interaction with you, and they pay up front for the 3 or the 5 sessions so they can actually successfully implement what's in the course. So, those are advantages. And while bundles are super, super easy to automate and systematize and all of that, they can be a hard sell to a cold audience. People may say, I don't know if I need 3 sessions, or I don't know if I need 5 sessions. You want to consider having this, attached to another offer to make it something that's worthwhile to people, because people know one-on-one, they know group coaching, but when they think about a bundle, they may not really want to commit to 3 to 5 sessions. But when you attach it onto something else, it becomes more appealing. So that is the bundle. Next is your 1-day workshop. Like, let's say if you're coming from a corporate background and maybe you do a 1-day workshop on a training that you have in-depth knowledge about. I know when I was in the nonprofit world, one of the things that we constantly had people do 1-day trainings on was things like motivational interviewing, how to connect and talk to people. We had training about how, trauma-informed care, how to be more trauma-informed, meaning recognizing that the people we work with have experienced trauma and being able to not further trigger that trauma through our services and the way we interact with them. You have to think about what is your expertise in. And this is where you would put on your consulting hat, and not necessarily as a coach, but as a consultant. What industry are you coming from? And what do you have to contribute to that industry? Can you take the experience that you have and apply it to a different industry and conduct these 1-day workshops? So a 1-day workshop, when you think about the pros is, first off, you can use it as a tool to promote your higher end offers. You get to build relationships. People can hire you for other things, all while you're still getting paid to deliver the 1-day workshop. Second is you can record it once and repackage the recording and sell the recording on your website or through some other means to other companies who have the same problem. And this way they may not be getting the one-on-one attention, but maybe they can show it to their team and still get the same results. So when you think about the disadvantages, you would have to have people sign some sort of agreement letting them know you own the rights to the content, and that as the owner of it, you have the right to do whatever it is you want to. So that ownership piece is super important. And then there's group coaching. So group coaching is probably the most scalable method that you can use to grow your business, because you're delivering your message to many all at the same time. So definitely consider group coaching. Now, there are some cons to group coaching. I'm not going to share that it's all, peaches and cream and roses, right? And while you can charge, thousands of dollars to help someone achieve a transformation or get a result, you have to be able to interact with people, like people, answer their questions. But one of the cons is, group coaching programs are tricky to get off the ground because people actually have to show up to your group coaching program. And if you have a low number of clients in the program, or no clients in the program, and your first client shows up on the coach live coaching call and no one else is there, it could really impact your group experience. Now, a lot of people have grown accustomed to wanting to have recordings of things and watch things on their own time. That's also a con, because it's like, on the one hand, you can't say to people, oh, you only have one chance to catch this presentation. You have to offer some form of recording for people. So another con is you need storage for that. So yes, you could use your Google Drive, but the storage is very limited, when it comes to where you're going to store your recordings, which is why it's really super important for you to have a video storage option to deliver your group coaching program. Okay, so let's talk about the VIP day. And this is a way for you to work one-on-one with a client and help them get a big result. And VIP days can either be spread over, the course of 2 days, or, where you may work with someone 2 days for 4 hours, or maybe you work with them for the full day, or like a 6-hour day. I wouldn't do any longer than that. But it does require a great deal of planning, because you have to be clear on the result that you're going to be delivering to them on the day of the event. So the thing you want to do is you want to have a schedule. So you want to map out what the schedule is going to be, for that time, because you have to factor in breaks. You have to think about, the flow of the VIP day. These are work sessions. VIP days are work sessions. It's not something where they're going to come listen to you. So at the end of the time that they leave you in this session, that they actually have a solid plan. And VIP days, just like all of these other models, can be done virtually or they can be done in person. But VIP days, I wouldn't charge less than $2,000 for them. Okay. But VIP days are very lucrative, but they do have some downsides. So they take a lot of time to plan, because you're working on a very short timeline, and you want to make sure that you know what you're covering at each segment of the schedule. And things can get out of hand fast if you don't have things structured properly. And when things get out of hand, the biggest thing that can happen is your client won't get what they paid for by working with you on this VIP day. And it's a really very structured way to deliver your expertise. But, you can charge a good amount for it. You can do 2 of these a month. You'll definitely want, to have a curriculum. So you have to set that for the day. And you definitely want to make sure you're following within your expertise, so that you only do VIP days around whatever it is that you're an expert in. You don't want to switch off on expertise, because that's how things get crazy real fast. Okay. So yes, you may have expertise in other areas, and it may be tempting to help people in other areas, but things can get out of hand very, very quickly if you do that. And you just want to make sure that, you're the expert in the one thing. You're the expert in weight loss for women over 40 or menopausal women. You're the expert in credit repair and helping people increase their credit score. Whatever it is that you're an expert in, that's what you want to make sure you're focused in on. And that's what your VIP days should be around. Next is live events and retreats. And this is actually the last thing on the list. So live events require a lot of work and a lot of time to plan. And, you have some people who will do the event where it's around a certain theme, and they'll do live events where they have people come out for a day. And then you have retreats where you plan out a whole weekend for people. But having done events myself, I know how much time it takes to create a big event. Because, when you think about these live events and retreats, you're thinking about what you're going to sell. If you're selling a book or if you're selling something else, you also have to think, do you need to partner with other people? What do you need to do to pull this off? And so there's a lot that goes on as it relates to creating, retreats and live event experiences, because it's really about the experience, but you can charge quite a bit of money for a retreat. A retreat and live event, these are the higher end type of offers you can have. But before you get to this point, somebody has to come out with a big result after. So you have to be prepared for what that experience actually looks like and delivering an experience that's memorable, that they're going to feel is well worth the journey. And you can make it an annual thing or a twice a year thing. It could be lucrative, but it requires such a great deal of planning. Starting out, you may not want to do that, but maybe once you've done some of the other offers, maybe then you want to start launching your retreats. That way you've started to build your community where it becomes people that have already worked with you, they know you, they trust you, and now they're taking the next step with you and they're coming to your retreats and live events. So there's so many ways to really think these things through and to think through your coaching offer. You just have to be creative and not just think of things through one lens. Think of it in different ways and aspects of how you can actually deliver. I think it's really important, especially as you're developing your offer, that you really are solid on the different types of offers that you can provide. So I thought I would focus here because this is a good place to start. And remember, where you start doesn't have to be where you finish. And, look at these to really put together your ideas and see if the offer is going to be right for you and your business, and how can you package the different offers, for people to really get the best from your services, because there's so many ways to package up your expertise. It's not just in a group coaching program, and it's not just in a one-on-one session. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Boss Experience Podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And if you're interested in learning how to turn your expertise into an online coaching business that replaces your 9-to-5, visit CEOBlueprintAcademy.com. That's CEOBlueprintAcademy.com. And once again, thanks for tuning in. And I hope you'll tune in to a future episode of the Boss Experience Podcast. That's a wrap. Be well and take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Boss Experience Podcast. Don't forget to leave a review for this episode and tune in next time.